The story begins in a quiet house at night. Mortimer Folchart and his wife Riza are putting their daughter Meggie to sleep. Mortimer reads aloud in a calm voice. But while reading the story, he felt something, although he didn't focus on it much and continued reading. And then we are shown a red cloth, just like the Little Red Riding Hood mentioned in the story, falling from the sky and landing in their lawn, as if it had come straight out of the story itself. What happens after this is not shown to us here. It will be revealed later in the story. 12 years later, Mortimer and Meggie reach a rundown bookstore. Meggie asks if the book her father has been searching for might be here, but Mortimer denies he's looking for any book at all. Meggie has seen this routine before. Mortimer goes inside. Meggie wanders the market. In the store, Mortimer scans the shelves. The books whisper, and he doesn't blink. His focus lands on one title, Inkheart. Outside, a strange man approaches Meggie and speaks like they've met before. When she tries to leave, he stops her and says the last time they met, she was only a small child. Mortimer steps out and sees him still talking to her. The stranger calls Mortimer Silver Tongue, and Mortimer's expression hardens. He orders Meggie into the car, then turns to the man. He introduces himself as Dustfinger and says Mortimer must fix a mistake from 9 years ago. Capricorn now knows where Mortimer is hiding, and if Mortimer refuses to read aloud, Capricorn will come for him himself. Dustfinger demands Mortimer read again. Mortimer refuses, saying he gave up reading aloud long ago. Desperate, Dustfinger begs to be sent back to his world, the one Mortimer once pulled him out of, bringing everything back to Inkheart. Mortimer coldly says he doesn't even have that book anymore. He pushes Dustfinger aside and rushes to his van, only to realize Meggie heard it all. Shaken, she demands the truth. Mortimer won't explain. He only says he's protecting her, and for her safety, Meggie must stay with her Aunt Eleanor for a while. They arrive at Eleanor's house, a place overflowing with books and quiet tension. During a conversation, Eleanor mentions Riza and gently tells Meggie that her mother is gone, but she's still there for her. The words hit hard. Meggie angrily insists her mother didn't abandon her and storms off. Later, Meggie confronts Mortimer, finally asking where her mother really is. She's convinced the book he keeps searching for is tied to her disappearance. Elsewhere, Dustfinger suddenly appears inside the house. He admits that after Mortimer refused to help him, he went straight to Capricorn. Before Mortimer can react, glass shatters. Eleanor rushes to warn Meggie as strangers force their way in. The library is destroyed, books ripped apart, shelves smashed. Dustfinger stands among Capricorn's men, using his fire-covered hands to keep them from hurting anyone. Mortimer begs them to leave his family alone, but they seize Meggie instead. They want Mortimer to read aloud again. The situation worsens when Eleanor's entire library is set on fire. From the flames, Dustfinger saves a single book belonging to Riza and offers it to Meggie, but she refuses. Soon, Mortimer, Meggie, and Eleanor are forced into a car and taken away. When Mortimer wakes up, they arrive at a decaying castle-like structure. Inside, the place feels unreal, filled with dangerous creatures that clearly don't belong to this world. Locked in a room, Eleanor demands answers. Mortimer finally reveals the truth. Years ago, while reading aloud from a new book, his voice pulled Capricorn, a violent and dangerous criminal, and his men straight out of the story. At the same time, Riza was dragged into the book itself. After surviving the attack, Mortimer spent years searching for her, then swore never to read aloud again. Meggie asks the painful question, can reading bring her mother back? Mortimer admits it can. Though terrified, Meggie believes Riza is still alive inside the book. Before they can say more, Capricorn's men drag them away. Capricorn awaits them, now living like a king. He reveals he prefers this world and has no wish to return. Then he calls for his reader, Darius, and orders him to begin reading. Darius hesitates, reminding Capricorn that he was promised freedom, that once Mortimer arrived, he would never be forced to read again. Capricorn laughs and cruelly dismisses the promise, ordering him to start reading. With no choice left, Darius reads Rapunzel. A young woman suddenly runs into the room, barely escaping the guards. Something is wrong. Unfinished words are written across her face. She was never fully read out. The reason is clear. Darius stutters, and whatever he reads comes out broken and distorted. Another book is brought in, this time for Mortimer. a story about hidden treasure. As Mortimer reads aloud, sand pours into the room, followed by a storm of gold coins. Capricorn celebrates, but the magic demands a price. A man emerges from the book while one of Capricorn's men is dragged inside its pages. Dustfinger begs once more to be sent home. Mortimer admits he still doesn't know how. Enraged, Capricorn declares he will never return to the book world and won't let anyone else leave. He throws Inkheart into the fire. Dustfinger tries to save it, but the book is burned before his eyes. Mortimer and his family are locked away again. Elsewhere, Dustfinger is taken to another part of the castle where enslaved women work, including Riza. She tends to his burned hands, and through gestures explains that she briefly held Inkheart before Capricorn destroyed it. She cannot speak, though Darius read her out, her voice was left behind inside the book. In another room, the man who appeared with the gold panics, insisting this isn't real. Meggie calms him, and he introduces himself as Farid. That night, Dustfinger dreams of his wife calling him home. When he wakes, Riza unwraps his bandages. Asked how he could repay her, she points to the chain on her ankle. She wants freedom. She shows him a drawing of Mortimer and Meggie, revealing they are her family. Dustfinger finally understands. When he was pulled from the book, Riza was trapped inside it. Later, a mistake by Darius read her back out, meaning Mortimer could never bring her back himself. Dustfinger promises to reunite her with her family. After knocking out the guards, Dustfinger frees Riza. As he heads toward Mortimer, he overhears Meggie mention another possible copy of Inkheart. Dustfinger makes a deal. If they find it together, Mortimer must send him home. To distract the guards, Dustfinger asks Mortimer to read page 14. A violent storm erupts, throwing the castle into chaos. Amid the escape, Riza runs for freedom, but slips and falls into a deep pit, vanishing as the storm roars on. As the chaos spreads, Mortimer, Dustfinger, Farid, Eleanor, and Meggie escape together. While running, Dustfinger slips and sees Riza trapped deep in a pit, crying for help. He hesitates, but instead of saving her, he turns away and runs. They flee in a van, leaving the ruined castle behind as the storm tears it apart. Their next destination is clear: the writer of Inkheart. On the way, Dustfinger refuses to go further. He says knowing how his life ends would make living meaningless. Mortimer and Meggie go on without him. At the writer's house, Finoglio assumes they're fans. When Meggie mentions Capricorn, he laughs, saying his characters feel so real that people start believing in them. To prove it, they take him to Dustfinger. Seeing Dustfinger performing fire tricks, Finoglio is stunned. It's exactly as he imagined. When he starts to speak, Mortimer stops him, warning that Dustfinger fears knowing his fate. Finoglio casually reveals the truth anyway. Dustfinger dies. Enraged, Dustfinger demands to know how. Finoglio explains he dies trying to save his pet, Gwyn. Mortimer then asks for a copy of Inkheart. Finoglio searches his storage room but explains his books have been disappearing or burning. Mortimer realizes Capricorn has been destroying every copy. Eventually, they find a manuscript version. Desperate, Dustfinger demands to be sent back immediately. Mortimer refuses, saying Riza comes first. Forced to confess, Dustfinger reveals that Riza is already in this world, read out long ago by Darius. Furious, Mortimer demands her location. Dustfinger agrees to tell him only if Mortimer promises to send him back later. He reveals Riza is held at the castle. Mortimer and Dustfinger leave together. Meggie and Farid stay with Finoglio. That night, Meggie hears whispering from the surviving book. Drawn to it, she reads aloud, and a small dog named Toto slips out. Moments later, Finoglio is brought in by Capricorn's men, who demand Mortimer's location. Spotting the dog, Finoglio instantly understands. He blurts out the truth. Meggie is a silver tongue too. Meggie is taken away by force. On the road, Mortimer asks if Riza is safe. Dustfinger assures him she's alive, but unable to speak. Suddenly, Dustfinger tells him to stop. Opening the trunk, they discover Farid hiding inside. Farid admits he never trusted the writer and didn't want to be left behind. They soon reach Capricorn's castle and sneak in from the back, climbing onto the roof. Their luck runs out when Mortimer slips and is spotted. The three barely escape and split up. Mortimer reaches Riza's room. It's empty, everything left behind in a rush. He finds her sketchbook filled with drawings of their family, proof she never stopped thinking of them. Outside, Dustfinger and Farid hide. Farid asks to learn Dustfinger's fire tricks and finally manages a small flame. Before they can celebrate, a guard appears. Farid escapes, but Dustfinger is captured. Taken to Capricorn, Dustfinger sees Raisa trapped in a net. She pulls him close, and he whispers that her husband has come for her. Elsewhere, Capricorn forces Meggie to read, pulling objects and creatures from books. He's testing her, confirming she is truly a silver tongue. The writer watches in awe, noting Capricorn looks exactly as he imagined. Capricorn reveals his plan, to summon the shadow and keep it in this world forever. Meggie insists Inkheart is destroyed, but Capricorn reveals he secretly kept one copy. From a snake-filled box, he hands it to Meggie and orders her to read. She refuses. Capricorn takes her to Risa, hanging helpless in a net. Meggie recognizes her mother, and Capricorn gives her a cruel choice: read or watch her die. Meggie and Dustfinger are imprisoned separately. The writer joins Meggie, realizing she can send people back into books too. Together they plan, writing Capricorn's end so the shadow will destroy him. Later, Basta brings food. Mentioning Capricorn wants Meggie rested. The writer distracts him with a ghost story, exploiting Basta's fear. Gwyn steals Basta's bag and leads him to Dustfinger. Dustfinger terrifies Basta with the ghost story, locks him in the cell, and escapes. He tries to free Meggie, but the lock won't break, not even with fire. Forced to flee, Dustfinger runs, then stops. Guilt hits him hard. He turns back, but Capricorn's men block his path. Dustfinger tells Mortimer everything: Meggie and the writer's location, Capricorn's plan to summon the shadow, and the most dangerous truth: Meggie is a silver tongue, and Capricorn intends to use her. Inside the prison, the writer secretly prepares lines to draw Inkheart's dark characters closer. Soon, Meggie is taken away. Outside, Mortimer, Dustfinger, and Farid plan a rescue. Dustfinger will cause chaos with fire, while the others disguise themselves as guards. Meggie is dressed in white and taken to a grand hall where she sees Reza and the writer trapped in cages. Capricorn announces he is finally reuniting with his people. As the plan unfolds, Mortimer's group silently takes down guards. Eleanor sneaks in and convinces Darius to help them escape. When the book is given to Meggie, she spots Mortimer in the crowd but stays calm. The writer slips a page to Toto to deliver to her. Just as the shadow begins to emerge, Mortimer shouts for her to stop. Toto drops the page and Meggie reads it aloud, turning the shadow against Capricorn. Chaos erupts. Fire spreads through the castle, and Eleanor storms in with riders on strange creatures. Mortimer urges Meggie to keep reading, but the story ends. He hands her a pen and tells her to write the rest herself. Meggie rewrites Capricorn's fate, turning him into stone that crumbles into sand. She then sends the shadow and all the other characters back into their world. Dustfinger watches but hesitates, missing his chance to return. As he doubts Mortimer would still help him, Risa's voice suddenly returns, reuniting the family at last. The castle begins to collapse, forcing everyone to flee. Unnoticed, Farid takes the book and later gives it to Dustfinger, saying they'll find another reader someday. Asked why he would leave Meggie, Farid smiles and says her photograph is enough. As they head into the forest, Mortimer catches up and reads from the book, finally sending Dustfinger home. When Raisa and Meggie arrive, Dustfinger is already gone. Mortimer asks Farid what he'll do next. They decide to keep Gwyn with them, ensuring Dustfinger will never die saving his pet. When Meggie asks Farid to stay, he agrees. The story ends peacefully. Families reunited, dangers undone, and new beginnings written by the power of words.